Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon to you, the Khifir, my honorable colleagues. A special good afternoon to the Minister support staff and everyone that is tuned in. Minister, first and foremost, thank you for the presentation of the report. I do, however, have 3 points with regards to the report. First one being, we're seeing a report from 2020 to 2022. Is there a specific reason why it takes so long to get the report? Is it something as the annual accounts that takes a while with government? Because I believe that I understand that it was a COVID time, so maybe that could be a reason. But I would like to know if there's any efforts moving forward to get the reports sooner so that we can act quicker where we see certain things need addressing. So that is the first question through you, Mr. Chairman. I also saw in the presentation, Mr. Chairman, through you to the minister, social promotion. Is this seen as what they would call a bespreekgeval, or is it where, for instance, I know in certain instances where a student is too old, they will then be promoted automatically based on their age. So I would like to know, what is a social promotion? Lastly, Mr. Chairman, I know that even in the last budget that was passed, the subsidies have increased to somewhat for the different school boards. But I would like to know, without the publication of the budget 2025, how will the ministry execute the payments of the subsidies? So through you, Mr. Chairman, for the budget 2025, how will the ministry execute the payment of the subsidies without the budget being published? Does this affect the execution of those payments? With that being said, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I look forward to the responses.
Thank you, MP Duran. MP York has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Once again, good afternoon to the Minister and her support staff, the viewing public, and honorable colleagues of mine, and the Griffier. Minister, thanks for the presentation. I have a few questions where that is concerned. I saw a flow, MP Westcott Williams touched on it. I don't know if she was referring to this specific chart. I saw a chart of the flow of PE to SE. Question is, would it be possible to get also the chart of the years before that, so for 2019 to 2020 and to 2018 to 2019 to get a better overall perspective of the flow of that specific chart. Also, there was a decline in student count, aside from the notable reason, but maybe was there another reason for the decline in student count between the 2 years? Also, MP Duran just touched on it as it pertains to being more current with these reports, because this report is, let's say, 4 years ago. MP Duran used the word sooner, but I would want to go a bit deeper and ask if there's some type of structure that we can agree on moving forward. Like, for example, if the school year finishes in June, this report takes X amount of months to be generated, and we can expect the reports every X amount of months after the school year has concluded, so we can have more of a structure moving forward here in Parliament. And lastly, there are a lot of slides about the teachers' absenteeism and their credentials, etc. But I didn't see any slide as it pertains to the promotion of the teachers. So a slide on, hey, X amount of teachers were promoted in that a particular year, in order for us to also delve deeper into how we can stimulate promotions moving forward. So is that something that is charted? Is that something that is data is being collected? Or if not, can that be something moving forward that is collected and also implemented in the such reports moving forward? And that would be it for my questions. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, MP York. MP Janssen Webster have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good afternoon to the Minister and her support staff and my colleague MPs. I also would have liked to see the historic data. So we've seen now 2020, 2021, but and also I would also like to know when can we receive the 2022 until 2023 at least, because it's always good to do the comparisons. So for that reason, something stood out for me: the number of teachers who do not have the Dutch nationality. I know that having worked, having led the Ministry of VSR, for labor, every year there is an issue with work permits for the teachers. So at the time what we did was we put a group together, and so that the teachers, the school boards would be able to submit the necessary documentation on time. So I just wanted through you, Mr. Chairman, to remind the minister of this so that it can be done on time, because you wouldn't want that when the school year starts that you have schools who are lagging behind because they cannot bring in their teachers. It happens every year, I understood. So I just wanted to mention that so that that committee is in place on time, to ensure that we have the teachers that we need, because we see here that, especially for some schools, the majority of the teachers are non-Dutch, and some of them require work permits. Then I have a question about agriculture. We have met with the Committee on Agriculture. We spoke to people from the agriculture industry, and they have spoken about having agriculture in the curriculum in the schools, and I wanted to know through you, Mr. Chairman, if the ministry is looking at that at all, and in what year maybe it would be possible to add agriculture to the curriculum, or maybe it's in there already, if you can let me know. And also I know that tourism as well, being our main pillar in our economy, there was some requests to have tourism added as a subject in the curriculum as well. I know it's a lot, but these are things that came up. Now, regarding the presentation in general, I must say that I would have liked to have seen more information. When I see the state of education in St. Martin as a topic, I would have liked to see how exactly our children are doing. I know we've seen, okay, so many graduate, etc., and so many move on to high school, but I would have liked to see the basics, how we're doing. I don't know if you have that information. I would hope that you have it, and if you do, if you could send it to Parliament, because basic things, reading, writing, arithmetic, we meet here with students, and I can tell you that when we look at what they write down, sometimes you wonder like what grade they are in, and I look back at, okay, last time I was in school is like maybe 40 years ago, give away my age, but the level that we were on at that time with reading and writing, it would be good to see if it's documented, how it progressed over time, what is really the state of our education in St. Martin, not just this, but more in depth. If we could see how our children are doing, that way you can do corrective measures. And it's not an isolated issue of looking at just how they're doing, but I think that there are a number of factors, because coming from the statistics department as well, and having led the census, we know that there are a lot of people that English is not spoken at home and English is not their first language. So what that brings with it, with an English or Dutch education, the parents cannot help them. Some of the children do not speak, not even English. So my question through you, Mr. Chairman, to the minister is, and this is a question that when we met the students today, the students asked the mock minister, so that's why I'm going to ask the minister through you, Mr. Chairman. what are schools doing to assist children who cannot speak the English language? Because we have compulsory education, so they have to come to school. They're in school. They do not understand the English language. They do not speak. They do not understand. They cannot write. What is being done? Are those children then left behind? Do they end up in certain high schools, whereas let's say their intellect is, were they able to understand the language, they would have been in a different school? Like, is there a program? What is being done? And yeah, does the ministry have funds for this? Has this been identified as a problem? Maybe it's not a problem, but I spoke to some teachers and they have indicated that it's not an isolated issue. It is something that is happening in our schools, that we have students who do not understand English. So what is being done with that? Those are my questions for now. Thank you.
Thank you, MP Jansen Webster. MP